What is up, guys? Marcellus Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, here to educate you on health, fitness, social well-being. Today, guys, part 4 of answering your questions.
I am the greatest.
Someone with color! Someone with color! Someone with dash! Someone with
Guys, so let me go ahead and start by saying thank you very much to all of you who maybe didn't ask a question or you already had your question answered. We're still being patient, allowing me to go through the rest of them this week. I know a lot of you are probably ready for more new informative content. I promise you, once my meeting is over Saturday, everything's going to be back on track. Have way more informative content for you guys, plus tutorials and other things that are going to be more engaging for you all. But like I said, I think answering these questions is going to be very beneficial for those who care the answers, as well as, a few of them are a little bit more personal, so you guys just get to know me a little bit better, for those of you who care to. Anyway, let's get right into it. So, question number 1 for today. Doc_Kenny_G asks, overtraining. It's been all over YouTube how it is used to bring up lacking body parts. Does it work? When is training a muscle grouping overdone? All right, so guys, understand something. Overtraining, that's something that, yes, very much exists, but it's very, very hard to do to get to that point. Like when you're overtraining, you'll know it. Like you won't be getting any stronger. You'll feel like complete crap. You'll be honestly feel like you're sick. Like overtraining is a very serious condition. It's hard to get to that point. A lot of people do more and more, it's called like overreaching, or maybe you overtax yourself or you overwork your peripheral nervous system, you have to step back or something like that. But as for bringing up lagging muscle groups, guys, honestly, like I kind of answered this in a previous Q&A video, just focus on more volume for that muscle group or more frequency. So if you're hitting a certain muscle group twice a week and you want to bring it up, hit it 3 times a week. Or if you're doing 4 compound movements and 2 isolation movements for that muscle, then maybe having a 3rd isolation movement or a 5th compound movement. That's all you really have to do to work on bringing up lagging muscle groups, guys. You don't have to do a whole bunch of extra where you feel like you're overtraining the muscle group. All right. Drew got the juice ask, would you rather be superhumanly strong, a 3,000 pound total, but look like you don't even lift, or be weak with a 300 pound total and look like a Greek god? That's not a hard question for me, man. Honestly, I would definitely take the strength, period, just because I feel like it'd be more useful, more beneficial, and a 3,000 pound total at my size would be phenomenal. I'm winning every type of powerlifting competition, every strength competition, doesn't matter what it is. So I would definitely take that. A lot of people probably still take, the Greek god body because, they want to look just like, like, oh, I want to look so amazing. But I mean, you didn't say necessarily, let me double check. You didn't say that I would look bad, just that I don't look like I don't lift. I wouldn't mind looking like just a normal average Joe being that strong. So I mean, I think this will take care of the ladies for me. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would definitely take the 3,000 pound total. All right. Hoodricks.Flee asks, would you recommend a beginner with general strength mass goals build a foundation from calisthenics first, strength training first, or more hypertrophy related fitness? Either or, man. Honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't do both. Like if you're brand new to lifting, I think starting with calisthenics and strength focused training with weights at the same time is a great idea. I mean, I myself personally, like I said, I did calisthenics from age 11 to 17 before I started lifting weights, helped me build a good base, but you can definitely do both at the same time. As for the hypertrophy related fitness, guys, understand this, that if you are brand new to lifting and you're training to get stronger, whether it's calisthenics, weight training, whatever, that's going to directly correlate to hypertrophy. That's actually one of the topics I'm going to be doing a video on soon, the direct correlation between strength and hypertrophy, because people seem to have just this weird thought process that if you're training for hypertrophy, you don't need to be trained to get stronger. As I've mentioned plenty of times before, guys, even if your goal is not like to increase your max, you have to get stronger, whether it means doing the same weight for more reps or doing the same amount of reps with more weight. You have to get stronger in order to induce hypertrophy. Like if you're a natural lifter, that's just how that works. So, but yeah, why not both? Let's see, _O0 Kenny 0O_ ask, what's your go-to program for increasing your PR? Purely focusing on strength. So I don't necessarily have a go-to program for that. It depends on what lift I'm trying to increase. What I can say is anytime I'm trying to get stronger on a specific lift, I'm going to be increasing the frequency, which means I'll be hitting that lift or variation thereof at least 3 times a week. I'm gonna have one day that's focused more on volume, one day that's focused more on intensity, and then one day that's focused more on like accessory or variation work for that movement. But I don't have a specific just go-to program for when I'm getting stronger. No matter what program I'm on, my goal is always to get stronger regardless. All right, Davey_Jonas asked, if you could do it all over differently, would you? If I could do what all over, bro? That's a very deep philosophical question, but you gotta be more clear. I like to think of living life with no regrets. Everything's kind of a learning experience. So, I mean, you have to be more specific with what I would do over. I'm not sure what the answer to that question would be. Let's see. Ryan VL5 asks, what did bodybuilding make of you as a person? I mean, like I said, guys, I'm technically not a bodybuilder. I've never done a show or a competition, anything like that. But weight training as a whole for me has really helped me just in terms of, like I said, some of you may know this from the previous Q&A, but I'm very introverted by nature. I like to be very quiet, keep to myself, like gaming, reading. I still like going outside, being active. For the most part, I like to keep to myself. So working out, lifting weights helped me to get more out of my comfort zone, helped me to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, helped me to get better with like interacting with different people of different backgrounds. And it just helped me with the way I've always kind of been, even when I was more introverted, which is always seeking progression, always seeking to get better. It's really give me that mindset of don't ever be stagnant, always be getting better and improving in some areas. So there's a brief answer to what would be a very more, detailed answer if I wasn't trying to get through this video relatively quickly. Okay, and then Ryan VL5 once again asks the second question. And because it's a good question, let's see. What is concurrent periodization? Yeah, actually, I have a whole video over that, man. I'll leave that in the description down below. It explains what concurrent periodization is. All right. Niavas_Jim, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you always supporting, tagging me. I know you tag other pump chasers and stuff, and appreciate the support. Who was your inspiration to get into bodybuilding? Either YouTuber or pro? Keep up the good work, brother. So, like I say, guys, once again, I'm not really a bodybuilder. I never really had inspiration initially with working out. It's something that my dad just kind of got me into with bodyweight calisthenics up to give me like structure as far as exercise when I was 11 years old. And then I sort of gradually transitioned over to weights. As I've said before, one reason I kind of got more into weights is just because I saw that my older brother was doing it and it kind of got me wanting to transition more from calisthenics to weights. But as far as bodybuilding, I guess I can say this. When I finally started to care more about not just strength alone, but wanting to work on aesthetics and building my physique up, that was when I started watching like people like Chris Jones, Brandon Carter. People like them were the ones that helped me realize, hey, I can still get stronger and be strong, but still work on aesthetics. So yeah, in 2012, I started watching Chris Jones. That helped me a lot with wanting to really just put more of an emphasis on my body, my physique, everything like that. And then more recently, people like Russell Orhe, who's kind of like, more my style, power building in the sense of, hey, I want to be strong, but I want to be aesthetic as well. So those are two people that definitely motivate me. As far as just known bodybuilders, I don't really have any like professional bodybuilders that I look up to or anything like that. All right. Marios_Dim asks, best tips for skinny tall guys to become strong and put on weight. Progressively overload and eat a caloric surplus, man. That's it. You do those two things and you will get stronger and you will put on weight. All right. Ahmed Jama, I'm not quite sure how to say your name. I'm sorry about that. How do you bring up more of your chest if you're shoulder dominant? That's gonna be easy, man. It's just gonna mean doing more chest work and don't do a whole lot of direct shoulder work. So obviously, anytime you're doing any type of press, your shoulder's gonna be engaged as well as your chest, as well as your chest. But the thing is, you don't have to do as much direct shoulder work. Like don't do front raises because there's no need to do that. Start hitting that with your presses. And pretty much do more chest isolation movements, focus more on flies that kind of take the shoulder out of it a little bit. It's still kind of involved, but it puts more of an emphasis on the chest. And then with your pressing motions, make sure you're going through a fuller range of motion. Like for example, on bench press, a lot of people, they bench really wide, right? Which shortens the range of motion. It also puts a lot more stress and emphasis on the front part of your delts. But if you have a more traditional or like a closer grip on bench press and get a longer range of motion, it's gonna put a better stretch on the chest, give you a better range of motion, gonna activate that muscle more. So that's something you can do. But yeah, you just have to do more chest movements essentially. All right, Jamie Williams_96 asks, biggest achievement to date non-fitness related. Man, I don't know about my biggest achievement, but I can say, all right, so I was fortunate enough to be able to graduate college without any loans. I don't have any student debt or anything like that. I was working 4 jobs. Like my last year, I was working 4 jobs, still taking 15 to 18 hours of classes, but I still managed to graduate, no loans, no debt. So I don't know if that's my biggest accomplishment, but I'm definitely pretty proud of that, because a lot of things that a lot of my friends are dealing with right now, it's like, man, I got so much debt, I got so much student loans, and I don't have to worry about that. So, all right. PM Champ says, have you ever watched Hajime no Ippo and or Slam Dunk? I feel like you would enjoy both. If those are like the boxing and the basketball anime, then yes, bro. I have watched both of those. So I'm trying to figure out why you would assume I would enjoy those, bro. Just because your boy's black, I gotta like the basketball anime? No, I'm just kidding, man. No, I have seen both and I do enjoy those. Assuming that's what you're talking about. I think that's what they're called. All right. Journey_2_fit forever asks, I'm about 55 days away from my first physique competition. I want to know if I should look into fat burners and water pills to help me dry out and shred down even more. So I'll be honest, like I said, I've never done a physique show or bodybuilding show or anything like that. With that being said, I personally think the best way to just keep getting leaner, getting shredded, is to focus on that deficit with your diet, and then if you need to use some cardio to supplement that, not to be the source of it, as you guys already know how I feel about calories versus cardio for controlling your body fat, but to supplement it, I would do that, man, because when you start messing with things like fat burners and water pills, it's just, first off, a lot of it is trash. A lot of those supplements are garbage, and some of them have certain effects you don't want to deal with. And at the end of the day, like a lot of fat burners, they don't actually help you burn fat. What they do is suppress your appetite, which if you have, at this point, you've gotten this far, this deep into your cut, just keep controlling that through willpower, man. I'd stay away from stuff like that personally. That's my advice. All right, let's see. Danielle Tony 24 asks, what is more superior for lower pec development, the dip or flat bench? All right, so honestly, that's going to depend. Keep in mind, a lot of people are not able to perform dips correctly, and some people just aren't built for it, to where if they go down too low, it can really mess with their sternum. So not everyone's necessarily built for dips. So that's one of the reasons why I think flat bench is more of a go-to for so many people, because it's a movement that the majority of people are able to do. With that being said, you could think of it in the sense of, with bench, you're able to load more weight. So, being able to move more weight, that's going to be beneficial. But with dips, you have to think about the fact that once you start adding weight to them, it's your body weight plus whatever you have added. So you're able to move weight that way as well. That's a tough question, man. Honestly, for me personally, I would probably go with the weighted dips, just because if you are able to perform them, you're going to get a little bit better stretch as far as the range of motion compared to like a bench press, as well as the fact that you're going to get more bang for your buck in terms of you're going to be hitting way more muscles with the weighted dips than you do with the bench press. You're hitting the chest, delts, and triceps just like on bench press, but you're hitting a lot of those stabilizer muscles as well, plus your core. I know we're talking about specifically just about the pecs, but it's just kind of like, hey, if you can work that plus all these other muscles, then that might be a better go-to movement. But at the end of the day, man, that's just a preference. There's no science that says this is absolutely better than this. It's just at that point a preference of whatever you enjoy. But for me, myself, probably weighted dips. All right, it's.bens.life asks, how long have you been powerlifting? I started powerlifting in September of 2015, and my first meet was November 2015. So going on a year and a half now. All right, and last question for today, I am Hunter Davis asks, when benching, what can cause one side of the chest to feel like it is being worked more than the other? That's pretty much more than likely, man, going to be just the way you're balancing the bar. For one thing, like a lot of people, like they don't realize it, but as they come up, they may be coming up slightly more on one side than the other. And then another thing might be if you just are naturally more inclined to one side than the other, like your dominant side, you may be pushing the bar up totally even, but you may feel like you have a better quote unquote mind to muscle connection with one side than the other. Those are two of the only reasons I can think of right now at the top of my head. I'd have to kind of like see you benching to kind of point out other things that it could be, but more than likely that's what it is, just learning to balance the bar evenly, unless you have, like a physiological dysfunction of some sort, but more than likely that's all it would be, man. And the simple way to fix that is to just get better at balancing it, as well as work with, isolateral movements where maybe you're pressing at the same time, but each side is still working independently. So, unilateral movements are going to help you with that, and then isolateral machines will help you with that as well. And yeah, I think that's going to be about it for today, guys. That's going to be all the questions I go over. So just one more video left, so be on the lookout tomorrow for the last questions, as well as announcing the winner of the Pump Chasers giveaway. Once again, appreciate all of you for your patience. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below, let me know that you did. If you did not enjoy the video, leave a comment down below, let me know what I can do to get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch y'all later.
I am the greatest.
Someone look color! Someone look color!